Oh my god, I could listen to this awesome nostalgic music for hours. Oh, I love the Pallet Town theme. So many memories. Anyway. Hey everybody, Lightning Spirit 78 here. Welcome back to some more of Let's Play Pokemon Leaf Green. In the last episode, we got our first Pokemon here, which is Squirt the Squirtle. And yeah, that was basically it. I took forever to explain everything. Hooray! Anyway, today we are going to head on to Route 1, the first route off of Pallet Town, and our first, chance to actually meet people and take on a new adventure. Talk to this guy here. He'll say he's from the Pokemon Mart, who sells you a bunch of items throughout various cities. He says to meet him in to visit them in Viridian City, and he'll give you an example of their services by giving you a free potion, which is quite nice considering I used the last potion. When you walk in the grass here, sometimes you will run into wild Pokemon. Case in point being a Pidgey. I'm not going to explain Pokemon, like random Pokemon, just yet. I'm going to save that for just a little bit later in this episode, considering we can't even catch Pokemon just yet. And that's also when I'll be talking about different things that I want to do in this playthrough. Wait, what's this kid doing? No, come here. Oh yeah, I'll talk about this in a little bit. Basically, he's telling you that these ledges that you see alongside the road, you can hop down, but you can't hop up them. More or less, that's a shortcut between Viridian and Pallet to help you get back there faster, because guess what? We will be going back to Pallet Town in a couple of minutes. But first, we're here in Viridian City. Do I know about the two kinds of Caterpillar Pokemon? Yes I do, but I don't care about knowing about them right now. First thing you want to do is head into the Pokemon Mart, and this guy over here will be like, "Hey you from Pallet Town?" Yeah, what of it? Stalking me? You know Professor Oak, right? His order came in. Can I get you to take it to him? And you get Oak's parcel. And we're gonna put it in the key items pocket, and we're gonna go deliver it back to him. Which is basically why I said we're going back to Pallet in like a minute or two, because yeah, we're going back to Pallet. I don't think you can buy any potions or anything from that mart just yet. If you can, feel free to correct me, I suppose. Just don't spam like with a bunch of things saying you're wrong. Just like one person at a time. But anyway, if you take those ledges down, you can avoid most of the wild grass, if not all of it, like I did. Well, I mean, I didn't avoid the grass, I avoided wild encounters. And now, I'm gonna say hi to Professor Oak. Oh, wait. I was so used to the game taking over for me, I was like, I'm just gonna let go of the control stick, it's probably doing it for me. Oh, wait. Oh, Hikaru, how is my old Pokemon? Well, it seems to be growing more attached to you. You must be talented as a Pokemon trainer. What's that? You have something for me? And we're going to give him the parcel. Ah, it's a custom Pokeball. I had it on order. Some people say that it's the Master Ball, others say it's the GS Ball from the days of Gold and Silver, but I don't know what it was. Probably an Ultra Ball or something stupid like that. And of course we got Blue, and I'll be like, I almost forgot. What did you call me for, old man? Okay, I added that part, but... Alright, I have a side quest for you, request for you two. On the desk here is my invention, the Pokédex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Hikaru, Blue, take these with you. And we're gonna get the Pokédex, and yes, I just realized at this very moment that my Oak impression is horrible and sounds like an old lady. You can't get detailed data on Pokemon just by seeing them. You can in Pseudo, well, not detailed data, but for some reason it counts it. You must catch them to obtain complete data. So here's some tools for catching wild Pokemon, and he's going to give you 5 Pokeballs. These are going to be our tools for this playthrough, because I'm going to explain in a minute what we're doing here. When a wild Pokemon appears, it's fair game. Just throw a Pokeball at it and try and catch it. This won't always work. A healthy Pokemon can escape. You have to be lucky. So what he's saying is that in battle, when you find a wild Pokemon, if you want it, you gotta tackle it a couple of times, or use any kind of move on it, really, to weaken it a little bit. Get it down to the low orange or red zone on its health, and maybe give it a status condition or two, like sleep or paralyzed. And, you know, throw a Pokeball at it, and you can catch it. Hate to say it, but you won't be necessary for that. What? I will so be necessary for this punk. Borrow a town map from my sis. Won't tell her to lend you one. Don't bother coming around to my place after this, that's so not an obvious hint. Alright, well, we're gonna charge after the little jerk. And actually go to his house, because his sister is a million times nicer than he is. Shocker. And there she is right now. Grandpa asked you to run an errand. Gee, that's awfully lazy of him. I think it's a little bit more than just an errand. An errand is like, can you go to the store and buy me some milk? This is catching all 151 of the Pokemon that were known in Kanto at the time. Kind of a steep task. And speaking of that steep task, I want to talk about what we're doing in this playthrough. I don't want to make any promises because it could fall apart, but my goal, but not exactly a promise because I'm not exactly sure if this will go through 100%, is to capture all 150 of the Kanto Pokemon in this Let's Play. And I'm gonna try and get the vast majority of them in Pokeballs. The reason I'm doing this is to make my playthrough a little bit interesting, and also I am working on completing the National Dex, all 649 Pokemon, in Pokemon White. So this will basically knock off the entire Kanto deck off my list after this playthrough, so it'll be quite nice. Anyway, wild Pokemon on this route. Here we have Pidgey. Pidgey here is a average flying type, in all honesty. He's not that great, or she in this case. She's not that great. She's quite fast when fully evolved, but there are a couple other flying types which I think are much better. While Pidgey is fast, it doesn't have the best attack stat of all, and that's mostly every flying type's best attribute is speed and attack. If you really want a flying type, I would highly recommend holding off a little bit and catching a flying type here in probably a few minutes. There's a route right after this where there's a good flying type here. Anyway, you got Pidgey. I'm not going to be giving these guys nicknames. And also, the other Pokemon here is Rattata. Rattata is not good. He's a standard HM slave. HMs we'll get into in a little bit, so I kind of recommend catching him for that. Evolving him doesn't really save him at all. He's not that good. I don't like him. Never used him. Don't plan to. Not in this playthrough. Not in any. Now, you see these random encounters here? They get quite monotonous after a while. And as for catching wild Pokemon, I'm probably going to montage all the Pokemon that I catch off screen after this episode. Like at the beginning or end of every episode, I'll show you what Pokemon I caught either off screen between episodes before we actually begin the real episode. However, in this case, since the only Pokemon you find here are Rattata and Pidgey, it's not that big of a deal. Rattata's best stat, and by best I mean like best stat, is speed. Second best is attack, so if you really want a speedy attacker, I just can't recommend this thing, sorry. If you want a speedy attacker, go for a Pidgey, or wait a little bit for a better flying type. I can't really recommend anything on this route, but if you really want to use them, I can't stop you. It's your playthrough, not mine. This is my playthrough, ha ha ha. Now, okay, I basically just did what I was about to explain. Random encounters from here on out, I am going to be cutting out. I'm probably, unless it's a new Pokemon that we haven't seen yet, then I'm going to catch it. But other than that, nothing too special. Here we have Pokemon Centers, which are quite essential for your journey here. Pokemon Centers, what they do is that they heal your Pokemon back to life, or back to health in this case, for free. Completely free. You don't have to pay a thing. It's quite nice to have. I guess we should probably take a little look-see around here in Viridian City, because we are no longer on the road to Viridian City. We are in Viridian City. I guess you can tell me about the Caterpillar Pokemon. Caterpie has no poison, but Weedle does. I'll go more into detail about those two in a bit. I think I'm gonna get some Pokeballs and some potions. Yeah, 10. And potions, I'm gonna get about... Oh, nah. 2. And antidote, I'm gonna get about 2 for the thing that we need to do ahead. And paralyzed heal, I'm just gonna get just in case. That's usually how I spend my money on the first trip here. No, I don't really talk to random NPCs all that much. Okay, so if you come here earlier, I really should have shown this before I left, because it was quite funny. You have an old man that was, like, lying in the middle of the road, like, right here, and he was like, I didn't have my coffee yet this morning, so stay off my property, you little whelp. I'm not gonna let you through. And then this lady's like, Grandpa, don't be so mean, it's just a child. But now if you talk to him, he'll be like, I've had my coffee, and that's what I needed to get going. What's that red box you have? You're working on your Pokédex, and let me give you some advice on how to catch Pokemon, even though you already have 3 Pokemon and obviously know how to catch them. Pointless tutorials for the win. Not really. He's got a Weedle. Okay. I actually heard that Weedle he's catching can actually be a shiny Pokemon. I've never seen it myself, but I've heard it's possible. Shiny Pokemon, what they are is that it's an incredibly rare thing to happen. I believe finding a shiny Pokemon is a chance of 1 in 8,192. So it's very, very, very rare to find a shiny Pokemon. Basically what they are is it's I wouldn't say it's a palette swap, but it's a change in colors for a Pokemon. And it makes them look cooler and shinier. So, yeah, kind of nice looking. And it gives you a TTTV, which basically gives you a bunch of pointless tutorials, which if it's your first time playing this game, or any Pokemon game for that matter, I kind of recommend watching, even though it's kind of cheesy. Up here you can get a potion. Back in Red and Blue, the potion was actually hidden in that cuttable tree right there. And on this route, we are on Route 22. I hit my head off a tree. Here we can find, I believe, 2 new Pokemon. And is this one of them? Yes, it is! First off, here we have Mankey. Mankey is the first fighting type Pokemon you're going to run into. And if you pick Charmander as your starter, I highly, highly recommend that you pick this thing up. Not to spoil anything, but the gym leader, in this game you have to basically, collect badges and become a Pokemon Master. The first gym leader in this game uses rock types. So that's basically pathetically easy if you pick Squirtle or Bulbasaur. However, if you picked a Charmander, Charmander is very weak to rock. So Mankey here has fighting type attacks, which are super effective on rock types, which is very good for you. If you don't pick up a Mankey, then at least evolve your Charmander into Charmeleon, because when it evolves, it learns Metal Claw, and Metal Claw is a Steel-type move. I won't be using a Mankey on my team, but I just want to pick it up just so we can say we have it. Now, Mankey, if I haven't mentioned before, is a very fast fighting type, one of the fastest fighting types in the game. So I highly recommend using it. The other Pokemon here we can find is Squirtle. Squirtle, what? No, is Spearow. You can catch wild Squirtle. No, you can catch Spearow. Spearow is right here, actually, one of my favorite flying types of this generation. And it is indeed that flying type I was talking about a little earlier in this episode. Spearow is very speedy, very attack-oriented. It has great attack and, like I said, great attack and speed when fully evolved. And is just a much better flying type Pokemon than Pidgey. Now, if you really want a fast Pokemon, then actually I would say pass up on Spearow and wait for much later in the game, and you can get the fastest flying type in the game, I believe. However, that thing is lacking in a little bit of attack. So I'd say that Spearow is quite well-rounded. It's basically what you want for in a flying type. However, considering I've used Spearow and Spearow in about 8 playthroughs of this game and Heart Gold and Soul Silver and a couple other games already, I'm not using it. We'll be back on this route probably in the next episode. But for now, I actually want to head up north and head into our next destination. There's the old couple again. Here is Route 2. Route 2 has 2 new Pokemon for us to catch. First one being Caterpie. But don't hit that button. Caterpie is a pretty weak bug type. Bug types in general are quite weak. Caterpie has low stats all around. It evolves into a Butterfree at level 10 and Metapod at level 7. Butterfree used to be good in first generation, but in this generation, not so much. And guess what? I caught a Caterpie. Hurrah! Now, as I was saying, the next Pokemon that we can find on this route is Weedle. Weedle is a bug poison Pokemon. I wouldn't say it's the stronger of the two, because really, none of them are good. Weedle, when fully evolved, becomes Beedrill level 10, Kakuna level, 7. If you want a good poison-type attacker, it's decent, but I can recommend the other poison types much better. Like Bulbasaur, or if you didn't choose Bulbasaur, there's a few others later in the game. Okay, that was annoying, and I still didn't find a Weedle, so I think I'm just gonna go up here and find one. Here we have our newest destination, Viridian Forest. Viridian Forest is, basically the big forest of the game. There's a couple others that are pretty big too, but, there is a Pokemon I want to catch in this forest. However, you are going to have to find out what that Pokemon is in the next episode, because I'm going to track it down off screen and do a bunch of other stuff off screen as well. So, if you liked this episode, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And I will have more Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green coming at you soon. No idea why I said Fire Red in there. Whatever. Anyway, guys, see you next time. Bye-bye.